And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you win in any marketplace, understanding your buying decisions, and making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, make sure you save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it, 813-670-7372. You can call or text that line, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my
And we love it when we get the calls, people reaching out, asking questions about real estate, credit, finance, estate, and tax planning. We've got 4 or 5 different attorneys associated with the show. Lots of ways that we can help you win here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want to help you with your networking as well. So come on out for our business networking event coming up over at Taps Restaurant. The official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Taps Restaurant at the International Plaza on Bay Street. It's our restaurant partner. Excellent food, very friendly staff, and delicious food. They've got different types of bowls, seafood, all types of great stuff there at Taps Restaurant Bar and Lounge over at the International Plaza. And on Wednesday, the 25th, March 25th, we are hosting Tampa Bay's best speed networking event. So it's a great time for you to come out. If you're a business owner, salesman or woman, you're going to come out and meet over 100 different business owners, folks that are like-minded individuals that want to make connections, that want to send each other business and refer business to each other. 6:30 to 8 there. We're going to have DJ Yahoo's going to be there spinning as well. We're going to have some awesome ambiance going on. Fabre Frameworks is going to be on site as well, updating headshots. So if you are a business person as well and you want to get your headshots updated, come on out Wednesday, March 25th. Tickets available on eventbrite.com. All right, we got our A-team in the house, Ray Hall Appraisals. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure, man.
Always enjoy being here.
Yeah, talk about some values, things happening in Tampa Bay real estate.
Yeah, we can talk about some values, and I'd love to go into some, maybe some talk about what the appraisers do.
Okay.
A lot of people getting refinances these days because rates are so low. Also, a lot of purchases, people selling the houses, and a lot of times I show up and they really have a lot of questions. Turns out appraisers don't talk much. As you can see, I don't have that problem.
Yeah, you do a good job with yours.
I do try, and I even had someone today who thanked me for discussing what it is I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I think it would maybe help some of the listeners if I gave them some insight as to what the appraiser's doing, what we're looking at, and how we're coming up with that value that either makes your deal or breaks it.
I like that. A lot of our expert contributors have that consultative approach, that educational approach to their business, as does Kevin Overstreet, author, Fraudshine State. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks, man. How are you?
Doing well. Likewise. Good to see you.
Nice to see you as always.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in.
Definitely. So I'm excited about today because we're going to get into, I've got a special gift for all of your listeners, well, for 100 of them. And also, we've talked about title fraud a few times on this show and privately, and I want to go through today the options of how to protect yourself or how to get that protection.
I like that.
And some are free and some are not, and some are scams.
I like that. So we can call an audible here. Call an audible so we get protected on the home title.
There you go.
Yeah, because title fraud, big. I mean, you wrote a book on it, title fraud. You're the authoritative expert in that space, and people don't realize that. As we talked about insurance, a lot of times people are insurance for their health, their future. But title insurance is one of those weird things. It's like insuring the past, but there's really no future insurance there, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The easiest to understand analogy is that title insurance, and keep in mind that's what I am. I'm a title insurance agent. I have been for 22 years, and my people and I have closed during those 22 years more than 40,000 transactions. So title insurance is very valuable, but consider it the baptism of the property. I think we talked about that last time. And what that means is when you purchase your property and you receive that policy, it has erased the sins of the past. So if someone from the past comes and has some type of right to that property, you're covered.
Yeah.
The problem is as soon as that deed is recorded, your policy actually runs out. The coverage period runs out. So going forward, you have no protection, which is why we've created what we have. So.
And in yesterday's show, we talked about the internet and how there's a lot of positives there, but there's also some negatives with the internet because it makes it easier for criminals. We talked about the data breach that just happened with the TransUnion or the Equifax. So there's a lot of issues that could be a result from the internet, but also it's an awesome thing too. You can come home, you can make money from 7 to 11 o'clock, start a business, even if you are a janitor by day. You can launch a business online and make money that way. So that's part of what's coming up as well with Kevin Overstreet, author of Fraudshine State. Ray Hall Appraisals in studio as well. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team. My wife and I were the #1 team in our office this past month. So if you're watching our TV show version on Apple, Amazon, Roku, WeBeam TV, or maybe catching it on YouTube, you'll see here with the graphic #1 on the top left there, Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, top agents out of our office in Clearwater, which has 489 agents in the entire office. So a lot of great agents in the office, and we just happened to stack up as #1 for that office this past month. So real excited about that. A couple of hot listings I want to let you know about. Owners are motivated here at 6919 Makers Way in Apollo Beach. Now, this is in a planned unit development, and what an awesome opportunity to own a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, open floor plan, fenced-in backyard, no backyard neighbor home. But I always comment on this pool. Look at this pool, man. These community pools now. I wish I had a pool like that when I was a kid, Ray.
Oh, no,
I mean, look at the slide. Yeah, we used to have to go to theme parks like Wet and Wild to enjoy stuff like that. So at these communities now, these planned unit developments, there's all types of cool little areas over here where you can have fun. You got a clubhouse, throw some cool parties. 6919 Makers Way, Apollo Beach, low CDD fees as well at that property.
Great area down there at Apollo Beach. I mean, you're right there on the bay, Gulf access. And for what you're paying for your real estate, you're really getting a lot in that area.
You really are.
I just did an appraisal down there this week, and it's unbelievable what you get.
Absolutely, man. So, especially with a planned unit development like that, with the pool, you don't have to have your own pool on your home backyard and pay for the maintenance. It's all included in your CDD and HOA fees. Now, for business owners, if you are leasing your building right now, I've got a great opportunity to own your own real estate building. 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. Now, this is at the Hillsborough-Sheldon Memorial intersection right there, Hillsborough-Sheldon Memorial Road intersection, close to Town and Country right here. But you've got security system throughout with security systems out there. Now, look at that conference room. Beautiful conference room. If you have a sales team and you want to bring them in and have this conference room to be able to educate your team, it's got an electronics package as well, and it's a beautiful freestanding office building right here in Tampa Bay. Check out all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, Ray Hall Appraisals in the house. Let's talk about things happening out there. A lot of time, this is not the time, as one of the things that you kind of been reiterating on the show, this is not the time to overpay for an asset.
Absolutely, because we've had a really good market for quite a while now.
Yes.
Maybe, and we've had that slowdown recently. I think from 2017 to 2018, we saw some really good increases in value.
Yes.
And now we're seeing it start to tail out. Even though we still have that low inventory, we're still in a good market. Now's not the time you want to experiment.
Right.
And, price in possible future market increases.
Right.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people, especially when maybe they disagree with the appraisal, they come in and they say, well, the market's still going up. Well, how do you know what's going to keep doing that? What's going to happen? This is an election year where there's a lot going on. What's going to change in the local economy? It's nobody saw what happened in 2008 because nobody knew it was going on. And people always ask, are we going to see that again? Well, not for that reason.
Right.
Whatever causes the next shift in the market is a reason you don't know because nobody knows it's going to happen yet. So
called a black swan.
Exactly.
FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss, former FBI hostage negotiator, lead hostage negotiator. Chris Voss was on the show, and that's the title of his company, and his book was Black Swan, because it's just like the internet came out of nowhere. We didn't invent it, but we like to use it. 9/11, two planes flying into buildings in New York City. We didn't see that coming. That's a black swan.
Exactly.
So what could affect the real estate market, you're saying, is another one of these black swans.
It could. And you know what? I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong. And we could have 10 more years of increasing values. You don't know. Maybe because because of the crash from the last time. We could have so many great fail safes in place with the lending, because that's a big part of real estate is the lending.
Yes.
That, you know, we may have that continuous, but do you really want to bet on that?
Right.
And so I tell people, you know, again, real estate is the only thing out there where people are trying to pay more than what they're asking for.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, nobody goes into Publix and says, all right, that's a $12 steak, but I really want that one. I'll give you 15.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Yeah.
But I see it every day where the list price was $200,000 and the contract's for $210,000.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to put yourself in that position because it can bite you later on.
Yeah, it can. It can hurt you with value. It can hurt you with your appreciation. You're basically discounting the property as a future value. You're saying, well, I'm going to pay more for it now based on a future value. And what could happen? So let's talk about that. I like to think about, you know, the stock market being on such a run that we've been on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Trump in office, everything's great. Everybody keeps talking about how great it is. Yeah, it's been good for a while, but you ever hear the phrase, what goes up must come down. There must be some type of a reset. And I'm also worried about the currency exchange market. And by the way, we've got this coronavirus going on in China right now.
Exactly. So, you know, let's talk about with China. Now, I know there's been airlines that are no longer allowing flights from China. Mm-hmm. What if we owe China a lot of money? Mm-hmm. You know, what if this impacts trade?
Yeah.
You know, and what if it does hurt the dollar? You know, that's going to fall down into real estate.
Yep.
So, you know, any one of these things can happen. The stock market, you know, all these loans are with the big banks. Mm-hmm. If the banks start losing stock, you know, how's that gonna affect lending?
Yeah.
Are they gonna tighten up on lending? Are they gonna try to lend more? I'm not an economist, so I don't know.
You might need more cash. You might need more owner finance deals out there, but you know, people are still going to be moving to Florida. That, you know, with all that said, the other side of that is it's a great place to live, work, and play. There's no better place in terms of tax structure, the absence of a state income tax, a lot of the things that we have, 40 miles of beautiful beaches, and you still have all the great sports teams, fine dining, a lot of cool things happening in the arts as well here in Tampa Bay.
Florida is a great place to live because for the most part, it's just cost effective.
Yep.
You know, Brandon, you and I are in real estate. We know, you know, if you hear of something at $200 a square foot being sold, that's a good price they're getting for it. If you're out one of the larger houses, maybe down here in South Tampa, getting $500-$600 a foot, that's a pretty high value dollar. Now look at New York City, where you're going to start at $1,000 a square foot,
right,
for a condo. You know, you're not going to buy anything up there for less than close to $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's why people are drawn to Florida. We don't have that state taxes. You know, tourism covers a lot for us.
Yep.
So for all those people out there who are dogging on the tourists that are causing traffic, trust me, I'm happy to see them.
I want to talk about the investment side of real estate with Ray Hall here coming up as well. I want to talk about people buying multifamily, triplexes, quads, renting it out, the positive cash flow, some of the things you're seeing there.
Absolutely.
As well as Kevin Overstreet in the house. We're going to talk about fraud that's happening and it's more rampant. It's a growing area. And we're going to talk about that and his book, author of Fraudshine State, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial. We'll be right back. More from our expert contributors. Check out our website, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors at consumerqb.com. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because Weaving TV is working over in Tampa with the Angelina Star.
62, who knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62, who knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember it. I still dream about Florida.
Yes.
to be able to help businesses to do that card. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Backles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Giving a big shout out to the Replenish IV Solutions team. Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. I just came from the South Tampa location and had a awesome injection of the Myers cocktail directly into my bloodstream. Vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, the science of nutritional balance. Shout out to Steve and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions. They've got all types of different cocktail mixes that they can put in their weight loss, detoxification, ozone, performance, health and wellness, amino acids, and extras as well. Say hello to Steve and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions. Let them know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you and take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you heard about this right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. The science of nutritional balance, 2 locations here in Tampa. They've got a Gandy Boulevard location, South Tampa. Also, Carrollwood office at Bears and El Mabry. Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got Ray Hall Appraisals in studio. Coming up, Kevin Overstreet. He's an author of Fraudshine State, also owns title companies here in Tampa Bay. We're going to talk about title insurance. But before we do, I want to let you know about a couple of hot listings. 0 Alternate 19, also known as 516 Alt 19 in Palm Harbor. This is a great opportunity to own some vacant land, buy the vacant land, build your office or building here. So it's perfect for office, professional location in the heart of Palm Harbor. It's a commercial site with frontage on both US Alternate 19 and DeSoto Boulevard. Now, the current zoning is mixed, allowing for multiple purposes, and the owner has plans that they will provide as well. Architectural plans that are valued at approximately $40,000 are also going to be available. They have been approved. The water and sewer are connected, and impact fees have been paid. So that's all available at 0 Alternate 19 Palm Harbor, right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. It's kind of at the end of Tampa Road. If you take Tampa Road all the way to the end, make a right, you're right there in the heart of Palm Harbor. You get the walkability as well available there in Palm Harbor. 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. This is a developer's dream, builder developer opportunity here. Over 5 acres, waterfront on Bell Lake, 90-acre ski lake, listed at just over $1 million. I've got lakefront lots available, 8 lots available, 5 of which are right on the water. Bell Lake, 90-acre ski lake here in Tampa Bay. Peaceful Lane, Land O'Lakes. Let us know if you have any interest in buying, selling, or investing in real estate. We would love to talk to you. Check us out at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. You can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, Kevin, let's jump into it. We got Kevin Overstreet, a plethora of knowledge around real estate and title and the whole industry, and author of Fraudshine State. Going to talk about title fraud and things happening here today, not only in Tampa Bay, but across the United States and Florida.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's most prevalent, like most types of fraud, in Florida and California. They kind of battle for first and second place in that dubious honor. But yeah, so just to kind of recap, I know we've talked a few times about it, but the root of the problem is the readily available public records.
Right.
So the Freedom of Information Act that was passed in the 50s was made public records public, obviously, and that's crucial for me to do my job and for you to do your job and for Ray to do his, frankly, really anyone in real estate in any capacity. But with the advent of the internet and I believe the high cost of the doc stamps on the deeds and things like that, Florida is one of the more technologically advanced public record systems that each county has versus the rest of the nation. So it's one of the reasons that I came here to have my title company is because the doing a search is quite simple and easy, but that means it's also simple and easy for the bad people to do. So you can access nearly all counties, nearly all records, the documents themselves, the images for free, anonymously, and unlimited, regardless of your motive. So if you're a title company trying to facilitate a closing, no problem. If you're a criminal trying to steal someone's title and do nefarious things such as take out loans that then go into default or actually sell the property, also no problem.
Wow.
And then the creation of the documents is simple. About 10 years ago, maybe a little more now, the state of Florida passed legislation making electronic recording of documents legal, admissible. And that's fantastic for us and uber fantastic for the bad people, because they can quite simply forge documents. They don't even have to be originals. They literally don't have to be a single piece of paper. Normally when you say cut and paste, you're thinking of right clicking and with your mouse, but you can create these documents by cutting with scissors and pasting with glue and putting them together and then scanning them and just clicking a button that says this is an original. And then I brought this little exhibit for you to see. The people that get caught doing this are the ones that do it sloppy. The ones that do it right, you're not going to catch them as a realtor, and we won't catch them either because it's happened in the past to the property. But if you take a look at this, that's my notary stamp.
Yep.
It's legit.
Kevin Overstreet.
Yep. And here's one that looks just as legit. State of Florida. It's got the commission number.
Yep.
Completely fake. Not even a real person.
Wow.
$19 on Amazon.
Wow.
Took 3 days to get it. And one of the things about the book, you said published author, and it's not quite the case yet because it was basically complete, and I went through it and read it, and it really was an instruction manual on how to commit this crime. So I had to rewrite the heck out of it in order to make it an expose of this crime and offer a solution against it, but also not make it too easy for bad people to figure out how to do this by using the book. So it's not difficult to figure out on your own. Anyone who's worked at a title company for any period of time would know how to commit this crime. And like we've talked about, the really scary thing is there's nothing stopping it from happening, and there's also nothing catching it when it happens, other than a few things that we'll get into whenever you're ready.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. So if you just joined us, by the way, we're talking with Kevin Overstreet. He's an author of a book. It's not quite yet published, Fraudshine State, but he also owns Insured Title Agency here in Tampa Bay and done over 40,000 transactions, you mentioned. So kind of new at it, but you're getting along
getting
okay.
my feet wet.
There you go. And you also host the BABA events, which is great. I love those. I actually had an opportunity to speak at one of those. That's a great educational opportunity for any new agents, newer or seasoned agents. You know, you always pick something up when you go to these things. So we're talking with Kevin here. So title fraud, it's one of those things too. And also talk about we should talk about also the email phishing schemes that are out there too, Kevin, because sometimes you hear somebody sent the wire but it didn't get received. Where did it go? Oh, well, the bad guy got $100,000 down payment.
Yeah, so that's another kind of fraud here in the Fraudshine State, the wire fraud, and we've been, as a title agency, we've been targeted by the fraudsters on this, and I think everyone has, and several companies have lost a lot of money, but the most common thing that they are. Here's a typical scenario. First of all, if you are using Gmail, Yahoo, or any of the other very popular email systems, you're part of the problem. So Gmail has about 900 million users and basically no security on the communications back and forth. And it's not even the security that's making it easy for the criminals to hack. And these people are overseas, I believe, in China. What's ironic when I hear about all these companies, you have startup companies in technology that in order to save money, they outsource to India and Pakistan and China.
Exactly.
So the people that are creating the technology are the ones over there that are quite possibly creating a way to hack into the technology. And that's just a side note. But basically what they do is they intercept an email conversation, typically between the realtor.
Let's save the story. We're coming into break. The clock got away from me on that one. So we're going to talk about that when we come back, how this actually happens. We're going to break it down from the inside out here with Kevin Overstreet on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So stay with us right here. We got Ray Hall as well, Ray Hall Appraisals. More from Ray coming up. Ray, I want to talk about some of the impact fees and what does all that mean on the Consumer Quarterback Show and the investment side of real estate. Stay with us, consumerqb.com. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
The 62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember.
Ask it to me about Florida law.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said non-violent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back their right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We'd love to talk to you about that, have you leave you a review for us. We'd appreciate that. And also speaking over at PodFest, the event coming up in Orlando. There's a PodFest event going on. If you haven't heard about that, we're going to be speaking on the real estate and radio mix, how we're mixing those two together, how we're utilizing that to grow our business, grow our sales. And I was just interviewed by Florida Realtor Magazine again. That would be the 4th or 5th time being interviewed by our industry's trade publication, Florida Realtor Magazine, and also featured in Real Producers Magazine recently. So really excited about that. A lot of growth. We are hiring right now. So if you're an agent and you want to grow, you want to get with a team that understands how to grow and future-proof your business. A lot of cool things happening with Keller Williams offers as well. We got Keller offers now, so we can do those types of offers where you want an instant offer. We can give it to you. If you want, a lot of opportunity with us and our team. So reach out, PlatinumMVPteam.com or our hotline, 813-670-7372. Give us a call on the hotline or text 813-670-7372. We would love to talk to you. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, they are a first-class organization. They did a great job with my family's move over to our new lake house. And whether you're planning a local or long-distance move, trust Brothers Easy Moving and let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we have Ray Hall Appraisals in studio here today. Also, Kevin Overstreet, author of Fraudshine State and a title insurance expert here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So, Ray, I wanted to talk about some of the investment opportunities and what you're seeing out there, because you're doing roughly 3,000 appraisals a year, 2,500 appraisals.
A little less than that. But I've just had to expand. We got the assistant on this year. I've just hired a trainee, so it's definitely growing. And sometimes I'm in 5-6 houses a day. And I do get involved in a lot of those investment opportunities. I think I just did a six unit property up there in the Thanota-Sassa area.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a lot of involvement with the investors. In fact, I'm involved in the purchase of a house for a flip in Seminole Heights right now.
Nice.
So yeah, you could say I've had some experience with it.
So you see those different properties. You see the values. You see what's happening. So think about the opportunity for a owner occupant, because if you do a conventional loan up to 4 units, you can count that as a conforming type of a loan, meaning that you can buy a duplex, triplex, quad. So you can have 4 units, live in one, rent the other 3 out even as a first-time buyer, you can do that.
Right. That's basically where the definition of residential and commercial ends.
Exactly.
And now I'm a certified general appraiser. The first part of my career was as a residential appraiser. Then I did several years as just a commercial appraiser. Now I do both. So I've had that experience. So 4 units below, that's residential. So that falls into the residential loans. It's its own and a different animal.
Yep.
Now, once you get that 5th unit on there, now you're commercial. Now that's a whole different lending process. I think it's going to be different loan to values, things like that. And now I'm not a lender. You'd have to check with Diane Vance on this, but once you get there, it's a little harder to get those low down payment loans. If they usually want that 20-30% down as opposed to the residential. Now, if you're just Brandon wants to go out and buy a new house and he buys a triplex. Now, if you're going to be living in that, you could probably go in there with maybe an FHA mortgage and put 3% down. And now you've got those 2 units paying you rent, which a lot of times is going to cover that mortgage payment that you just took out on the property.
Right.
And that's where that opportunity comes in. And you talk to a lot of investors. They got started by buying that first property as a multifamily.
Yes.
And it taught them a lot. It taught them property management. It taught them how expensive owning a property is. It taught them how to deal with tenants, how to weed out the bad tenants.
The 3 T's.
Yes.
Tenants, toilets, and termites.
Exactly. Exactly. And, and it gives you that experience.
Right.
We were talking off air. I bought my first house. I had an opportunity for a duplex and a single family home at the same price. And I kicked myself. I bought the single family home. I wasn't in real estate at that time, folks. I'm much better now.
Yeah.
But I kicked myself because, I was going over the numbers and man, it would have been paid off by now and I'd be making, a few $1,000s a month off.
Well, let's do that. Let's walk through for example, let's say we were to buy the max. Let's buy a 4-unit property here. Mm-hmm. Let's say it's a quad at like $300,000 purchase, right?
Okay.
Now, if minimum rents, we're going to probably be able to get $1,000 per unit,
depending on condition and area, but yeah.
Yep. So that's $3,000 positive cash flow coming in, or cash flow in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say our mortgage on a $300,000 house, roughly, what would that be? $2,400, somewhere in that range.
Depending,
taxes, insurance. So we're still positive there. We're making that money, and the rents were on the low side. Let's say that's $1,500. Now we got extra money there.
Right.
But just think that through, and then you compound that over 5 years, 10 years, the mortgage debt pay down, the appreciation of the property, the ability at some point, if something happens, let's refinance it, let's pull a little bit of money out and maybe buy another property.
And that's what I've had it where I've gotten an order to appraise 10 houses. The reason is they're all owned by one investor.
Right.
So he's been paying that mortgage down, and now he wants to buy into maybe another portfolio. So he's pulling the money out of the investments he has as a down payment towards another investment. A lot of the more successful real estate investors, they become successful because they educate themselves on financing and creative financing. Now, when I say creative financing, I'm not saying doing something illegal, but learning what the opportunities are, because having that opportunity to get that leverage to buy those properties is key. But also key is going in and knowing how to run those numbers. A lot of people don't know about those additional costs to hold a property.
Right.
If you're looking at, after your mortgage payment, you've got $100 cash flow. Trust me, you don't have cash flow because you've got nothing for reserves now.
Vacancies, et cetera,
Vacancies
repairs
are going to be probably between in this market, I would say about between 10 and 5% or something like that.
Yep.
But it does happen.
Yep.
If you get a bad tenant in there and you have to evict them, that's going to cost you money. A lot of times landlords will just pay them to leave. It's called cash for keys.
Cash for keys. Leave it broom swept. I'll give you some cash.
Yep. So if you're going to go into these investment opportunities, they're a great opportunity. That's how you build wealth. But know what you're going into. Talk to some people who are experienced. Build a team of people. Find a realtor to work with, an experienced realtor who's maybe had some experience with that, who can guide you through it. You're definitely going to want to, just research it. And just go into that educated. Don't go into anything not educated.
Exactly.
And if you're unsure of the value, call my office. We'll help you out.
Ray Hall Appraisals, RayHallAppraisals.com, and Ray Hall in the house. So impact fees. Talk to us about that. Let's say I want to buy some dirt. I want to build on this lot. And they say, the realtor says, well, we have the impact fees already paid. We got plans already ready for you. That's a significant amount of savings.
That is. Especially, and you just showed your hot listing a little bit ago. It's a commercial property.
Alternate 19.
So what an impact fee is as soon as you want to build, as soon as you're disturbing the dirt, you've got to pay a fee. An impact. So basically you're it's a fee for impacting the environment.
Yeah.
And it's based on the footprint of the building. Residential, a lot of people don't notice it because a residential footprint on average is fairly small. And you're usually going through a builder. That impact fee is rolled in there. Now, when you get to a commercial office building, that's a little more. That's pretty expensive. When I do a commercial appraisal and I'm appraising a property and using a cost approach, I have to put that impact fee in there, and it's a sizable expense.
Yeah.
It differs from municipality to municipality. Usually they will give you the calculation and tell you how to calculate it. And it could include the parking lot. Anything where you're putting a footprint, it's going to include it. And when you have a property like yours, that's not really raw land. That's got entitlements in place. As you said, the architect fee, I believe, was already paid for. That was $40,000.
Plans are included.
That's $40,000 there. It could have been $10,000 for the impact fees. So imagine saving that money on that land. That's going to help. If you're buying that land to develop and rent it out, you just save that money. Mm-hmm. And that's what investors do. They don't necessarily look to pay retail. They look for that deal. And in a property like that, where those fees have been paid, that's a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to help you, in that place. In the Peaceful Lane property I had mentioned too, that's it's got 5 waterfronts. They've already got it entitled. So a little bit difference there. They haven't paid the impact fees, but they've got a approval from the county, meaning that it's entitled to do that.
Right.
They have that entitlement.
And that's what entitlements are. And I was involved in an appraisal early in my career where the state was purchasing land that was owned by a developer up by Ocala. And it was a huge deal. It was, if I remember, it was like $90 million. And what the value was it was entitled. All the unit, it was allowed to have like 5,000 units.
Wow.
Its own like power company or water company or something like that. It was a huge deal. And there was a lot of value on those entitlements because that probably cost that developer millions.
Right.
To come up with that, to come up with the whole plan, because you've got to come up with sewers, water, roadways, ingress, egress.
You're checking percolation in the soil. You're checking contaminants in the soil.
Not to mention how many lowlands are in that.
Yes.
Now, what are you going to do with the lowlands? Can you transfer the development rights to another portion and things like that?
Yeah.
There's so much involved in developing.
Yep.
And the more that you have done going into that purchase of that land, the better off you are.
Yeah. Absolutely. Ray Hall Appraisals, a plethora of knowledge around real estate values and appraisal and all of those valuing of your properties here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, Kevin Overstreet. We're going to finish that story we started and talk more about his book coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, a random act of kindness. Doctor covers all patients' copays to remind others to be kind to each other. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckle.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
62 who knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 who knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo!
Ask him to me about Florida law.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. A couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. We've got 2689 Sable Springs Circle, number 105 in Clearwater. This is a gorgeous condominium opportunity. Waterfront, you got a pond view, and it's close to the mall right there in Clearwater. 2689 Sable Springs Circle, number 105. Ground floor unit, nice view. You got window units on 3 sides as well. 3 units, 3 window views on each side. And 4207 South Del Mabry Highway, number 1203. This is a South Tampa property, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Where else can you get 3 bedrooms, 2 bath in Del Mabry, South Del Mabry, South Tampa, for right around $200,000. This is 4207 South Del Mabry Highway, number 1203. Great opportunities. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. This segment is brought to you by WholeBodyFuel.com, the official meal delivery service of the Consumer Quarterback Show. WholeBodyFuel.com. Check them out online. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Chef prepared, convenient, healthy, organic, delivered directly to your home or office. What else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? I love it when I get my delivery. And they also have the world famous protein donuts. Check them out online, WholeBodyFuel.com. Let them know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
A doctor in Lincoln, Nebraska is hoping to spread kindness in his community by covering all of his patients' copays on a random act of kindness day. And the gentleman, his patients came into the urgent care clinic of Lincoln. They were given a special kindness card told by Dr. Don Rice that he was going to be paying their copays for the visit. Quote, I think that we have a culture that sometimes forgets that we can have a much better world if we start being kinder to each other, Dr. Rice said, Dr. Rice. And the clinic saw nearly 80 patients on Monday, and Dr. Rice estimates that he took care of $4,000 worth of copays. Quote, it's just nice surprise because nobody likes being sick, so it was a little nice feeling to know that someone cares, said Dr. Arsh. And Dr. Rice's random act of kindness was inspired by a close friend who died of cancer. And, quote, even though she had 2 types of cancer, he was always giving to other people. So we thought it'd be fun to do this in his honor, said Dr. Rice. All right, cool story there in our feel-good story of the day. Ray Hall in the house, Ray Hall Appraisals, Kevin Overstreet, author of Fraudshine State. And we caught you at the end of the story. We're starting a story at the end of the segment, so let's jump right back to that.
If it's okay, Brandon, let's. I can do you one better. Let me get back on your schedule, and I'll bring in one or more of my contacts from the FBI's local office.
Cool.
And talk specifically about wire fraud. One of them is a forensic accountant for them.
Love it.
And that way you can hear from the title guy and the feds on it. So
yeah, that's cool.
But I'd like to get back into the title fraud subject. And keep in mind, we're only talking about the book, and the solution that we've created for the problem is only about one specific type of problem, and that's when someone is victimized by someone else via the recording of new documents. It doesn't deal with when people are in bed together, helping defraud a lender or someone like that. So that's another book and another subject. It'll probably be a never-ending series because there's so many types of fraud. Yeah. But for protecting yourself or your property against title fraud, there are really 4 ways to do it. And I totally recommend that you do at least 2 of them.
Okay.
And the reason for that is, if you hire a company to monitor your title, what if they're scam? What if they are a scam? There's actually a few companies that offer a monitoring and reporting service, and what I do is I subscribe to those. I enroll my property and properties of some loved ones into those to see what type of output I get. And I'm certainly not going to name their names, but one of them is a Florida-based company that I believe does literally nothing. I think they're just taking $10 a month from you.
Wow.
I've enrolled 2 properties and have heard nothing other than thank you for your payment.
Wow.
So another one is a huge company. They have millions of subscribers or members, and I've been a member of theirs on 2 properties for a little over a year. And I'll show just real quick. I logged into that system. Oh, the one that I just mentioned, I can't even log in and see my account.
Wow.
It's remarkable. But this one I logged in, and my sister's property is one of the ones that's being monitored by them, allegedly. And the last thing they've reported to me was done in October of last year. And that's a printout from today. This is a printout from today of the Hillsborough County records for the same property. Since the last time they showed me a document, which was that highlighted one, there have been 4 more documents recorded that I haven't heard anything about from them.
From that so-called company that's...
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they're just maybe behind. But one of those documents is my notice. So this is the patented portion of our service, of Fraudshine State service.
I like that.
Yeah, and think of this as this is the only thing that actually stops the crime for your property, for the enrolled subscribers' properties. And the reason that works is, in order to steal title, the bad people have to be able to do this, and they have to be able to see what documents are there. If someone wanted to target this particular house, my sister's property, that person would see the notice, which is that document right there that states any changes to the ownership of this property will be reported to the subscriber and law enforcement. So that's the ADT sign in your front lawn that makes them not steal the title to your property.
Right.
But then
or acts as a deterrent.
A deterrent, yeah.
For them.
Yeah, and if they do, we're still monitoring and reporting everything. But let's run through real quick the options. So the first one is totally free, and go to propertyfraudalert.com. And there are a few counties in Florida, and the Tri-County area right here, those are 3 of them, that you can put in your name and your email address, and the county will report to you via email when your name is used in that county. Now, there's some pretty serious shortcomings to it, but there's no reason not to do it. If you have a really common name, you'll get hundreds of emails because it's only name specific, and it's still very reactive, and it relies on you, number one, getting the email, understanding it. If your name is John Smith and it's your 700th email of the year, you're probably not going to take a look at it. Yeah. And it actually says, click here to view document. You view the document, or you click there and it doesn't take you to the document. You still have to know the basics of how to do a search for at the county, which brings me to my next also free way to monitor your title, which is the do-it-yourself way. And if you go to our website, which is fraudshinestate.com/DIY for do-it-yourself, it walks you through the steps of how to monitor your own title. You must do this at least annually. I recommend monthly. Cost you nothing. It's very eye-opening because it shows you a little bit of how cumbersome it is to do this for yourself, but also how easy it is. And anyone can do it. You're going to be logged in You're not going to be logged in. You're going to be anonymously accessing your record just like anyone could. So moving on from there, we have the other providers that I mentioned earlier. And not to say that there's anything wrong with their service, but there are just some things missing that, frankly, we have and they don't. So getting to what I know is the best, which is the Fraudshine state protection. What happens when you enroll, and I'm going to talk about the free gift for your listeners in a second. As soon as you enroll, you'll get an email instantly, unless there's a problem with your address or something like that, that shows the current owner. So that's your are you already a victim thing, and you're going to tell us that's legit or it's not, and then we have a whole pretty complicated system to help make sure everything's good. And then within probably less than 30 days, you will have the notice of title fraud monitoring recorded if it's your residence. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, you can monitor other people's properties as well. If you have an elderly mother or father or grandparents that are the most likely victims, unfortunately, you can keep an eye on their property. If you are a tenant of a landlord, you might want to know if that property goes into foreclosure. Flip that around. If you're the landlord, your tenants are in the very best position to steal title to your property because they can simply sell it because they'll be there for showings. They wait for the records to reflect their new ownership. It's typically a free and clear property. They call you a realtor. Your due diligence is looking at the records. Mine, the title companies, same, and it's gone. So if you're a landlord, you must monitor your title, either doing it yourself or I recommend using our system in order to do it. So then every month you get an email that says either you're good or there's a new document and you confirm whether it's legit or not. But let's get to the free offer. So go to fraudshinestate.com and click enroll property or start title monitoring now. And when you get to the point of being able to put in a discount code, put in all caps, no fraud, NOFRAUD. And the first 100 people that do that, and it'll be pretty quick, they're going to get a 1-year free membership. The notice will be recorded and they'll get the monthly emails. If that's taken up, do the free 30-day trial. We'll not record a notice, but we will tell you what's going on. Month-to-month membership is $9.99 a month. No notice is recorded, and the annual membership is $150, which includes everything.
I love that. It's going to protect your home. It's going to protect your title. And this stuff happens. It does happen. Next time, bring the FBI in. We're going to talk about that. We're going to have the FBI back in here. Kevin Overstreet. He's going to talk about what happens, how many statistics, how many people are already a statistic in that. And awesome stuff. Great stuff. Ray Hall Appraisals. Thanks so much. Kevin Overstreet, always a pleasure as well. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing. Carry it with you. Volunteer. Donate some blood. Be a force for good. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.